What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Live Game Season 2, Episode 13. The Average Man's Perspective on Football, your favorite show on YouTube. I'm your co-host, Marcus. Joining me on the panel tonight is Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
Herman.
The turkey is ready for the deep fry.
And Brian.
Thanks for joining us.
Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, going over to the channel, subscribe to the channel, help us get these views up. Also want to encourage everyone to go on over to sportsintel.net. That's sportsintel.net for some great commentary on everything sports related. Brian, you know what you're supposed to do? Give us a Twitter handle.
Twitter handle is at Delay of Game at 3.
At the Live Game 3. Got a lot of games coming up. This is Thanksgiving weekend, so it's going to be a very interesting week. Let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead, Herman.
All right.
Just before Herman gets started, I don't know if we noticed everybody, but we're doing 6 games this time because there's so many games going on, not just 5. Sorry.
Thank you, Eddie King. Like Eddie King said, we're going to do 6 games this week instead of 5. But yeah, let's get into it. You know, we're going to talk about some things that went on this week in the NFL. But we're going to get into the games first. Let's kick it off with the Thursday night game, which we had the Colts and the Texans. It was a close game, good game. The Texans pulled this one out 20-17. Let's start going around the table. Marcus, who'd you have on this one?
I picked the Texans. I figured that they would bounce back and have a pretty decent game. You know, if you're going to be a playoff team, that's how you got to do. And they did that. Like you said, it was a very close game. A lot closer than I thought it was going to be. You know, the Colts are a pretty good team this year. You know, even though Andrew Luck retired, Deshaun Watson was 298 yards for 2 touchdowns, and Brissett was for 129 yards, 0 touchdowns. But even with that low passing by Brissett, it was a very close game. But like I said, if the Texans are supposed to be a playoff team, they had to win this game, and they pulled it out.
Mark.
Texans, who I chose in this particular game, also. This was marked by another defensive performance by the Texans. It had to come down to a fourth down stop for the Texans. It was 4th and 7 with like 3 minutes left in the game, and they had to come up with a stop to pretty much seal it. There was a controversial call in the game too, the fumble at the end. Where it looked like the Colts officially had recovered it, but officially what they said was that there was no clear recovery of a defensive player on the play, so that's why it wasn't reviewed. So it was a lot of controversy with that one. But the Texans pulled it out. The defense played pretty good. I thought the coach did it to hold them to 20 points. I think the coach played real well to keep this game as close as it did. But Texans pulled it out.
Yeah, they had so many rushing yards. I just looked at they had 175 rushing yards, so the Colts were definitely running all over the Texans.
Right.
Yeah, like Mark was saying, it was a real close game. And it really boiled down to the Texans making a few big passes down the field to get them in scoring range that actually ended up winning this game. Watson, like I said, was 19-30 for 298 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. They ran the ball very well too. I'm sorry. Fuller, the wide receiver, had a good game. He caught 7 balls for 140 yards. Hopkins had a good game, 6 for 94 and 2 touchdowns. It basically just came to that. The Colts really couldn't get their run game like they normally do, even though they held time of possession. And it just turned out to be, a few big plays down the field that got them in scoring range to get that victory.
Yeah, I guess we all got this one. I went with the Texans also. The Texans are 4-1 at home, and the Colts are 2-3 on the road. So, you can kind of see how or why this went the way it did. But like you said, Brian Fuller, 7 receptions, 140 yards. Now you got to start thinking about, can you try to take away Hopkins, and you're going to pay the price because you got to deal with Fuller.
Fuller's always been good. His biggest problem is staying healthy.
Yeah, injury's been his big problem so far.
But yeah, it was a good game. Was that Brissett's first game back? Or was that his second game?
I think it was the second game.
Second game. Okay, yeah. He's not putting up the numbers that they're going to need for him to put up right now. And I don't know if that's because he's coming off the injury, and trying to just get back at it. But It was a good game. I mean, it's what you expect from a divisional game.
And I apologize. I said that the Colts didn't have a good run game, but they actually did.
Yeah.
They lost Marlon Mack, but they had Williams out there. Williams ran for
Jonathan
140
Williams.
yards.
Yes.
So they actually did have a running game.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the Sunday night game. Let's talk about this. It's not a lot to talk about, right? Let's talk about this whooping that the 49ers put on the Packers. I guess we'll start with Mark on this one.
Man, 49ers harassed Aaron Rodgers all night long. They sacked him 5 times. I chose the 49ers this game. They won 37-8. The Niners defense is the number the truth, man. The defense came back to dominating form this particular week. On Rodgers failed like 13 times on third downs. I mean, he couldn't keep no drives alive. That's how bad he was getting tore up on this one. But I took the 49ers.
I went with the 49ers also. I told y'all I wasn't going to doubt the 49ers again. This was a good game, to watch. It wasn't a good game. Watching the 49ers defense and watching what this team is doing, and it kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting the 49ers to be this good. They held Aaron Rodgers. He was 20 of 33 for 104 yards and 1 touchdown. If you had him in your fantasy team, sorry.
Yeah, I was hurting. I was hurting.
Okay. So, George,
make sure we write that down now. He said he's never rooting against the 49ers.
I said I'm not doubting them.
We got a big game coming up with the Ravens and the Niners. So I'm very interested in your pick on that one.
He said he's not doubting them.
Okay.
He's not doubting them.
Okay.
The 49ers got Kittle back too. 6 receptions, 29 yards and a touchdown. So pick the 49ers and they're rolling. They're 5-1 at home. Wow. So that means they're 5-0 on the road. Wow. Brian, who'd you pick?
I was with you guys. I also picked the Niners. And Mark, you were right. 5 sacks and they got a fumble. The defense only allowed 136.9 yards a game. Green Bay was 6% on third down efficiency. 6%. Time of possession was actually in Green Bay's factor, but that's just because they kept getting the ball back because the Niners kept scoring.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was just a ridiculously boring game, unless you were a 49er fan. But the Niners defense is for real. And like I said, again, I'm really interested in you guys' picks this week coming up on that Ravens-Niners game.
And you know what's crazy? You would think that a score like this, it would have been a lot of turnovers. 1 turnover by Green Bay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, Marcus, I see that you have a new accessory on. Explain what that's all about.
Well, this is the dunce hat for when you lone wolf on a pick, and you are wrong. And obviously, I was wrong because I picked Green Bay. I definitely wasn't expecting San Francisco to go in there and do what they did. Like Mark said, they had Aaron Rodgers 0 for 13 on third downs. So I mean, that pretty much tells you everything you need to know right there. It was just a snooze fest and a beat up fest. Like I said, unless you're a 49ers fan. But I picked the Packers, and I was dead wrong with that one.
Can you spin the little thing for me? Nice.
It looks fantastic. Hey, I just want to take a moment, just a quick minute, to shout out one of our new subscribers. What's happening, Jonathan? Jonathan Smith. Welcome home. Good to have you joining us. Enjoy the show.
I hope he's not a fan of those Steelers.
Thanks for joining.
As a matter of fact, he is. That's my nephew. That's my nephew. Thank you back, bro. Continue on.
All right, let's go on to the Sunday games. We'll start with the Saints and the Panthers. Saints beat the Panthers this week on this game.
31-34.
Sheesh. Close game. Drew Brees is back to Drew Brees again. 30 for 39, 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kyle Allen, I mean, he put up numbers. 23 for 36, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. It looks like the Saints held McCaffrey down, even though maybe his total yards from scrimmage was probably a little bit higher. I don't see what his receiving yards was, but he only had 20. He had 22 carries for 64 yards and a touchdown. I picked the Saints on this one. I just felt like right now the Saints, they're the team to beat in the NFC South. I mean, there's no question about that. They have the most experienced at quarterback, right now, and their defense is playing good. Their team is just clicking. So, they're playing for that number 1 or number 2 seed in the NFC. Brian, who'd you pick?
I was with you, Herman. Also went with the Saints. Like you were saying, Breeze is on point. They got the number 1 receiver in the NFL with Thomas, who caught the ball 10 times for 101 yards.
I think his name should be Can't Check Thomas.
Yeah,
Michael Thomas.
It's something like that on his Twitter account.
Oh my God.
His name, I can't remember what his actual Twitter account is, but it's something like that.
Good gracious.
Can't guard Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, producer. But this game was a lot closer than what you thought. And the field goal kicker Sly for the Panthers had a chance to win to actually take the lead in this game with a 28-yard field goal, and he missed it, which gave the Saints another opportunity to get down the field, and they made their field goal to win this game. But the Panthers defense had got 4 sacks in this game. And like Herman said, Kyle Allen was really good. 256 yards, 3 touchdowns. What more can you ask of your quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback? So the Saints, they won this game, but the Panthers were in this game for a long time. It was a good game.
Marcus?
Yeah, I also picked the Saints. I actually wasn't expecting it to be as close a game as it was. Like Brian just said, Kyle Allen actually, he did pretty good. 256 yards, 3 touchdowns. Definitely probably wasn't his fault they lost the game. He's got to have faith in the Saints right now. They're definitely a playoff team. I think they're before San Francisco went on this great run, I was thinking they're the number 1 team in the NFC. But probably right now San Francisco, but they're definitely number 2. And that's what playoff teams do going into this final month of the season. Is they win games they're supposed to win, and they were supposed to win this game.
Mark?
Carolina just squandered all the opportunities in this particular game, man. You say Sly missed the field goal with 2 minutes and 21 seconds left in the game, but they had so many chances for it. There was a pass interference call that the pass interference wasn't called, and the Saints challenged it, and they actually got it. I'm sorry, Carolina challenged it, and they actually got it, which gave them the more opportunities. So you had one kicker that was that failed. You had another kicker who was good. With what's his name? Lutz, Will Lutz, New Orleans kicker, came down the field with 33 seconds left on the clock. Kicked with 3 seconds left on the clock. Kicked the 33-yard field goal to win the game. But the game kind of went a little bit back and forth for a while. But the Saints came out victorious, and I chose the Saints. I think we were all a core on this one. We all picked the Saints.
Yeah.
They were successful.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. That I was surprised to see that pass interference.
Yeah,
I was surprised that they did it just because they hadn't been doing it all season.
And to the Saints.
That was a trip too.
That's the part that tripped me out.
It was true. It was a legitimate. It was.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a right call.
It was just the Saints. I mean,
yeah.
God,
So it could
scorched earth if they had lost this game. Oh my God!
Yeah.
They've been suing the NFL and all kinds of stuff again.
They've been boycotting everything. Yes, that would have been the truth.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to the 4:00 Sunday game. It was the Cowboys at the Patriots. It was an ugly game. The weather was bad. Wind was blowing. Raining the whole time.
Stop giggling.
Low scoring. Mark, who'd you pick on this one?
This one, I took the Patriots, to be honest with you.
Really?
The Patriots held off the Cowboys' number 1 defense. They held them without a touchdown. They actually held Amari Cooper with no catches, which was odd. And I had Cooper on my fantasy team.
Yeah, he had 0 points in fantasy.
That sucked. But the Cowboys set up for too many field goals in this particular game, and not going for it on 4th down was a big play to me. We'll talk about that a little bit later too in the game, but I chose the Patriots, and they were successful with it.
Marcus?
I also chose the Patriots. I mean, say what you want about the Cowboys and how they played or whatever, but to me, the Patriots didn't play all that great either. Maybe except for the defense. I mean, Tom Brady hasn't been looking that great all this year. They're basically living and dying on their defense, which you definitely can win championships like that.
Remember, too, that they was down two of their wide receivers. Mohamed Sanu didn't play, and also Dorsett didn't play. So they were missing some
Well, I
offensive
mean,
power.
it seems like this year that's always. I mean,
A lot of quarterbacks having problems.
that's always an issue for the Patriots. They don't really have anybody to throw the ball to. But it was, especially for the weather conditions. I guess this is the score you would expect, and these are the kind of points that I guess the Patriots are going to put up this year. They're not going to be putting up Ravens or Kansas City type points. But I picked the Patriots, and I was right.
Yeah, it hurt me to do it, but I picked the Patriots too for this game. Turnovers was a big key. The Patriots scored their only touchdown off of turnovers. But neither team's offense played well. Patriots defense, they held Dallas down. Dak threw for 212 yards, Brady threw for 190 yards. So it just wasn't the environment that your quarterback was going to go out there.
And some icky weather too.
Yeah, and
It was terrible weather.
The weather was terrible. It was terrible. If you watch the game, you could see the punts. It would go up and then it would just stop and just drop. It was kind of crazy. So yeah, I picked the Patriots. And Brian, I see you're sporting a new sports break.
So we could just go on to the next topic. Of course, I lone wolf the Cowboys. It was an ugly game. Belichick outcoached the Cowboys hands down. Special teams played a big part in this game. Few trick plays that Belichick put in front of the Cowboys where they act like they didn't know who they were or what they're doing. And then not deciding to wear a glove and then deciding to wear a glove. Just lots of faux pas on the Cowboys, not being prepared for the elements, not being prepared for this game, but still had chances to win it. Again, Mark brought up the fourth down, bad play calling. I don't understand why you wouldn't try to win the game right there. This field goal still means you have to go all the way back down this field that you haven't been able to go all the way back down the whole game. So why wouldn't you take your chance right there to either win that game or lose that game? I just felt that was just ridiculous. Even if you didn't get it, they're on the 11-yard line. Mm-hmm. They're going to play conservative. You're going to get another chance. So all head said and done, hats off to the Patriots. Again, Belichick outcoached them. Had the kicker got a block punt, which was he overloaded one side. We weren't ready for it. Thomas was sick this week, and our linebacker Thomas didn't play. So he wasn't prepared for it. So they got in, got a hand, got a block. Like Herman said, got a score on that. They decided not to put a receiver in the back to catch the ball. And the Cowboys like, oh, what are we supposed to do? Well, let's take a delayed game. Well, they just put you back. I mean, just a faux pas of mistakes. The coaches, the staff, they all just got outcoached by Belichick. And I got to give my hats to them. I mean, the Patriots didn't play great, but they did enough, and they made the plays that they needed to win the game. So.
Marcus, did I go to you?
Yeah, you got me all right.
All right.
It's you.
I already did mine.
Yeah.
Couldn't, start talking.
I'm never wearing this again.
All right, so let's talk about this last whooping that went on Monday night. The Baltimore Ravens. I mean, they just beat the mess out of the Rams. That was
this will be a quick.
Not a lot really to talk about. Lamar Jackson, 15 for 20. 169 yards and 5 touchdowns.
And 95 yards rushing.
Yes, 95 yards.
95 yards.
Jared Goff, 26 for 37, 212 yards, and 2 INTs. He is robbing the Rams right now. I picked right. I picked the Ravens. Brian?
I was with you, Herman. I picked the Ravens. The Ravens ran the ball down the Rams' throat. This was not a game. Mark, we were all on a group text. After the second touchdown, Mark said, "Kiss the baby," and went to bed. And he was right, because it wasn't a game. Unless you were a Ravens fan, then you're the only ones that stayed up to watch all this game. Ingram had 111 yards and a touchdown. The defense, 221 total yards, 3 sacks. The Ravens punter only punted once in the game.
Once in the whole
He
entire
punted
game.
once.
He did punt. I didn't.
He did punt once.
He
I
did
thought
punt.
he
The third quarter
went
wasn't
once.
it?
That was
like,
when Lamar went out.
Okay. And the Rams defense, they tried all they could. I mean, they did get 3 sacks on them, which you got to give them applause. But I mean, you got to do something more with that when you get them backed up. And this Ravens defense is scary. It's scary. And Jackson right now definitely Marcus has taken the lead in the MVP rating on this game.
Marcus.
I picked the Ravens, of course. This game was, I mean, it just wasn't even really a game. I felt like I was watching like a college football game, like Alabama's playing like, you know, no University State or something like that. I mean, they were just imposing their will on the Rams. Pretty much, Lamar Jackson scored, and the Ravens offense scored a touchdown on every drive. Lamar Jackson was in the game except the very last one right before they took him out. And there was even one drive where they got the 4th down. The kicker came out. Something happened, and then they was like, come back out there and get the first down. And we got the first down. Then like 2 plays later, they scored a touchdown.
yeah.
I mean, I would hate to have been a Ram in that situation. I mean, it just felt like you couldn't do anything about this at all. It was total domination. And just, you know, as well as the Rams were last year, and you know what they've done the last 2 years. I mean, if this is a Super Bowl hangover, God, don't ever go to Super Bowl and lose. I mean, good Lord.
Hey, look, and me and Mark were talking about it on the way here. The one person on the Rams defense who definitely couldn't do anything was Jalen Ramsey. And Marcus Peters had a few words with him after the game to let him know that they wasn't going to do nothing with him. And I didn't make Jalen too happy. And a little skirmish ensued where the coach of the Rams had to escort him into the locker room because he wanted to try to kill the Ravens corner. So
Actually, they showed Marcus Peters. He was on the sideline during the game, calling Jalen Ramsey's name from the other sideline, like on opposite sideline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, who'd you pick?
I took the Ravens on this one. Lamar Jackson. I mean, they just routed the Rams, man. I mean, it wasn't even funny. Everything that you all touched on was fine. I thought, you know what I thought was the craziest thing this particular game? Listen to Booger McFarland again. Reference the Rams being Melrose Place and the Ravens being
The
like,
Wire.
yeah.
If you haven't seen either one of these shows, you wouldn't have any clue what he's talking about. That's the only bad part about
First
this.
of all, it's a ridiculous comparison.
Why does he keep
It
saying it?
is.
That's what I don't understand.
Yes, he said it right. He said it more than once.
To talk. He
Yeah.
has to talk. He will analyze where they're standing in the huddle because he just wants to talk.
It was
Like,
ridiculous.
dude
It was
He
dumb.
didn't tie his
He has
shoe
to
right.
get fired.
His shoe should be crossed.
Yeah, you know, it's just, man, it's just dumb, man. It's
And I guess, you know, Baltimore residents, I guess they're proud of The Wire. It was a hell of a good show. But I don't know if I want to be associated with a show about drug dealers.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised the NFL hasn't said anything about that, you know, at this point. But you know what I don't get? I don't know why no team, I haven't seen any team this year try to do what the Chargers did last year in the playoffs. Nobody's even tried it.
You know that they tried it and just failed?
I don't know. 'Cause,
No,
like,
I haven't
even
seen
I
anybody
thought
try
the
it.
Patriots would have tried something like that.
I
you
agree.
know?
Yeah, I agree.
But
They-
the
they're-
way you got stay competitive with the Ravens, you got to get the ball and you got to get up early.
Yes.
That's how the Chiefs did it. That's how Cleveland did it. You got to make the Ravens get out of this running game. You got to make Lamar pass. Lamar's a good passer. I mean, he's throwing some pretty balls, but
it changes.
you got a better chance than letting him run all over you like they did.
And those 5 touchdowns he threw, them dudes were like wide open.
Yeah, because they were
But you-
terrified of the
Wide
run.
open.
But
They
you know,
were
we,
terrified of the run.
but you know what made it easy for him? Mark Ingram was running angry.
Man, I ain't seen
mean,
that dude run like that.
Man,
he never
they
ran
were-
like that for the Saints.
Dude, they were picking up
but
5
you're
to 6
like that.
yards easily on first down, which made, you know, the
Second and third down. Because
yes.
as soon as you put all the people in the box, I'm just gonna toss it over the top to
Exactly.
my tight end.
Exactly.
But shout out to Kay, shout out to Ben.
No, we're not
Good
trying.
job.
Shout out to Linda.
Yeah, shout out to Linda.
Shout out to David, all them Ravens fan, all you all drinking that purple Kool-Aid right now.
You know.
Enjoy it while you
But
can.
you know what we're gonna tell you? It's not sustainable.
Hey, I'm gonna keep going back to it. Once a team, like y'all said, once a team finally does jump up on them, changes the whole dynamic. That's all it does. All right, so that's our picks for last week. We're gonna get into
Whoa! How did we do?
Oh, well, we can talk about how we did. How'd you do, Brian?
4-1.
How'd you do, Marcus?
4-1.
How'd you do, Mark?
5-0.
Yeah, I think I'm in the 5-0 class too.
Stranger.
Hey, whatever, gotta do what you gotta do. Can't always-
Wait, that means we were almost all on one accord. Almost.
Yeah, except for the two that y'all lone wolf. Marcus, I don't know why you lone wolf the 49ers. When I went back and
No,
looked
but
at
I
that,
mean, that,
It was Green Bay. It was Aaron Rodgers.
I can't really hate on him on that one. Aaron Rodgers has done more with less.
Oh no,
I think Marcus's lone wolf was more of a stretch than yours was. I'm just
I mean, not if you look at the score. Well, yeah, no, I guess you do if you look at the score. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, absolutely it was. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to some hot topics. All right, let's kick it off with the Redskins. They won.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, man, we gotta talk about it. Redskins won their second game this week, and the team went off. You know, and I understand why they got happy. They wanted to,
you want me?
they wanted to celebrate their win. But their rookie quarterback, he missed the final snap of the game because he was taking selfies with the fans. What's y'all's take on this, man? Is that immaturity?
I mean,
Or excitement? Marcus, yeah, we'll let you start this one off.
the game was won. I mean,
No, don't say that because every NFL quarterback finishes the game.
Yeah.
They're not going to take selfies. So go ahead.
I mean, I can see why you might complain, but the game was won. So they won this game. The season is pretty much lost. You got an interim head coach. I mean, who cares?
I mean,
I mean,
Joe Theismann cares. That's who cares.
he said something.
Joe Theismann blew.
he said something.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
my
you got to be professional on the sidelines.
Joe
as the
Theismann went
quarterback.
crazy about it.
But did y'all notice this? After the kicker kicked the field goal, right, and Haskins went off, he ran out to the field, right? He was trying to just try to celebrate with the team, and a couple of the linemen kind of gave him fives. He was trying to get to the kicker. The kicker kind of turned away
No, I didn't see that.
and went to celebrate with other people.
I didn't see that.
I'm telling you, man,
Did not
if you
see
can find
that.
the highlight and they show it, go watch that again, man, because I was just like, did the kicker snub that dude just now?
Wow.
I'll tell you, the only thing I didn't like though, with his interview when they asked him about it, I mean, he was kind of a little, I don't know, like blowing it off. So I mean, I think it's just kind of a serious deal. You don't, as the face of your franchise, you really don't want to do that. You don't do that. And then he also joked about his hand being hurt. I mean, why do you even joke about that in the press conference?
Somebody's got to teach him how to.
So I mean, it's how you really want to carry yourself to be a team leader as a quarterback, and you just don't go about doing it this way. You just don't do it this way.
Yeah, it's when you are like Mark said, when you're the quarterback, you're known as a franchise, the face of the franchise, and you have to just conduct yourself in a certain way, and you can't be on the sideline taking selfies. And they're like, why aren't you out there kneeling the ball down?
Wait, you can't be taking
Especially when the whole team is
selfies
looking
and you're not
for
knowing
you.
the game is
They're
over
like,
with.
where is he?
Right. So
I mean, if like I said, if this season wasn't already washed, I could say yeah. If the coach for the future was there, I could say yeah, it'd be an issue. But I don't know. I mean,
do you want that quarterback?
And that
I mean, he won't do it again. He won't. I doubt he. He's a rookie. He was excited. He won his first game that he started. It happens. If
It doesn't. I don't think.
I've never seen
I'm
that.
just saying if Donovan McNabb could not know that a game will end in a tie, then I'm sure then Haskins could take a selfie.
That was stupid too.
Yeah,
but
that was. But, yeah.
But
I don't really think too much of it. I'd be a lot more worried if the Redskins were actually a good team and were in contention. Then then there should be some punishment. The coach should get in his ass. But the season's a wash. Who cares?
I'd be worried about that being my up and coming.
He won't do it. He won't do it again. He won't do it again.
It was immature. It was done. The only part I didn't really care about it is that he didn't really have a good game. He really didn't have a good game.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you are happy and taking selfies about. If you had, throwing the ball for like 200 some yards, a couple touchdowns or something, but I mean, you really didn't do
that victory was a team victory. It wasn't. It wasn't.
It was more defensive victory.
He got them true.
The defense got the turnover,
True.
which got them in field goal range to win the game. So, but whatever.
So let's talk about the New England Patriots offense, because there's been some stuff in the in the media about, well, we know they were kind of waiting to see what Gronk was going to do. He made his decision that he was not coming back, and then there's been some rumblings possibly about them looking into re-signing AB, and AB even apologized to the Patriots owner. Mark, you had like some stuff on there.
Yeah, one of the stats that came up about Brady being this year, he was 62.2% of passes. And he only threw for 2,942 yards with 15 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. This is the lowest passing rating he's ever had since 2013. At that time, it was 8.3. So his passing percentage is really taking a dump compared to what he's been at before. Without having Gronk there, I mean, I think it's really taking a toll on him too. His young wide receiver core, I mean, they haven't really mounted too much. We just got Harry back, the rookie that got back, and he showed a little bit of promise though. But I think they really hurting without having Gronk and Antonio Brown there. I think they are.
I think that they're hurting on that, but they're hurting more on their running game. Their running game and their screens and everything just isn't where it was what it was before last year. But Brady is number 5 in passing right now. As bad as they look, I mean, he's thrown for almost 3,000 yards so far in this season. So
that must have been a Miami game. All that came.
I mean, yeah, you do got, and probably the Jets game too. But I mean, just y'all take it easy. Don't sleep this waking giant, okay? Maybe we get the Chiefs and the Ravens in the championship instead of the Patriots this year.
I've been watching. I forget which categories it is, but I saw this on another show that in 4 or 5 categories, Brady is worse than like 3 or 4 quarterbacks. And all those quarterbacks have been benched.
Wow.
And I forget which categories they are, but it's definitely not looking like a normal Brady season. But, if it was any other team and if the defense wasn't looking that great, I would say be worried. But they've been able to, to pull off some wins, even though they haven't been pretty. Like this last win against the Cowboys was definitely not pretty. And the Cowboys definitely should have been.
The Eagles wasn't pretty.
So win that game. But this time of year, and when it gets into the playoff time, those are the type of games that you have that can win you a Super Bowl. Like for all what the Ravens are doing, and they're doing it very well. I believe at some point, either before the end of the season or during the playoffs, somebody's gonna come in there and shut that thing down, and then we're gonna see what they're really made of when they had to actually struggle. And since, the Patriots have been struggling pretty much on offense all year since against, the Dolphins and the Jets, I believe they're in perfect position to do a repeat. Because, I mean, it is what it is. Brady, he's not going to lose you the games. As long as your defense is dominant and able to pull off what they are. And don't forget you got Bill Belichick coaching. I'm not really too worried about them, but I do believe this might be Brady's last year in New England.
And he said that in interviews that he's kind of like taking a step back and let the defense shine, try not to cost them the game and stuff. And special teams is a little questionable just for the kickers. I mean, I think they're on their 3rd kicker right now with Nick Foles.
They don't, they definitely don't have the stability at the kicker position that they used to have. But I kind of disagree with you, Marcus. I don't feel like this is that same feeling you feel from the Patriots. Like, you just know that they're going to kick it into gear and get it going. I don't see it. And the reason I say it's the Eagles game to me stands out more than anything. The Eagles had nobody. I mean, half their offense is hurt. Like none of their starting wide receivers weren't there. And even with as good as the New England's defense is, it wound up being a close game. And it's weird to see the Patriots playing the way that they're playing. I just don't feel that, they're that dangerous team. You got the Ravens. I feel like the Ravens can definitely take them again.
Kansas City.
And Kansas City, even with Kansas City's bad defense, I feel like they can take them again because their bad defense can hold down what the Patriots have out there. You know what I mean? I feel like if the Texans are on top of their game, they could get them.
We'll find out this week.
So I just don't see it from the Patriots this year.
I mean, I agree with you, but if it wasn't for the history and wasn't for the coaching staff, then I would be in totally agreement with you. As long as, I mean, we know this is what they do. Every time they get doubted, they manage to pull it off. And like I said, long as your defense is playing good, and Brady isn't going to lose you the game. And you got a Hall of Fame head coach over there who that's the only reason they beat the Cowboys is because of who was coaching. That was
You want to know how
coaching
good a coach he is? This dude sends tape to the NFL of the Cowboys offensive line and saying that the Cowboys do a lot of tripping. The Cowboys had no tripping calls ever.
That's exactly what he
All
did.
of a sudden, we get two phantom
He did that?
because Belichick sent a tape to the NFL to the receipt told them,
To
watch out for this.
that.
The Cowboys offensive line be tripping. That's how good that dude is.
Yeah, see, that's why I think they still can do it. They still can win it all, just on that alone. So
I mean, what coach sits back? They trip a lot. Let me sit there.
That's a good coach.
That's
That's
what
a
I'm
good
saying.
coach.
and y'all haven't had a tripping call this whole year.
Ever.
Man,
And we got two.
We got two in one
There's
game.
only been 4 all year, and 2 of them were against us in the game. Sunday.
Well,
That sounds mighty suspect right there.
one I can understand. The second one, that wasn't no tripping. It was not a tripping. That
Then
wasn't
one
tripping.
of them.
All right, let's move on to can the Browns make the playoffs? The Browns are 5
Now,
and
if
6.
Pittsburgh got something to say about it.
Whatever.
The Browns are 5 and 6. They're 3rd in the AFC North alone.
Behind who? Behind the Steelers?
Behind the Steelers, yeah. The Steelers are only 6 and 5. Can they make the playoffs? What? So, we're better than the Steelers. I say no. I don't think they're on a 3-game. I think they're on a 3-game win streak right now. They probably have an easy schedule coming up,
They do.
but I just don't. I don't see it. Sometimes these easy schedules aren't as easy as you think they are, and while they are starting to play good, I just don't see it. I think that this will be something for them to build off on, and then maybe next year they'll start to make that jump, make that leap.
This is what we were saying last year.
I know, but I just don't see it.
Their next game, they got Pittsburgh this week.
Oh, that's the easy.
They
game.
got Cincinnati.
That's a win.
They got Arizona. They got
That's-
Baltimore, and
That's
then they have Cincinnati again.
Oh,
So out of those 5 games, they could be 3-2.
they could be 4-1.
When did they play Baltimore?
They play
Yeah,
Baltimore.
No.
The second
December
second to last?
Yeah, almost like in the next 2 games they play them.
9. I mean, best case scenario for them, they go 4-1. 9 and 7 is not going to get them into
9 and
the
7 is
playoffs.
not gonna get them in the playoffs.
I think this Sunday is a big key. We'll find out because if they can't beat Pittsburgh, they're not gonna beat Baltimore.
They're not going to beat Baltimore.
No.
Even though they beat Baltimore this year.
So it's almost like this is a must-win for them if they want to keep that playoff drive alive. If they want to.
But the Baltimore game is the last game of the season?
No,
Next to last.
it's next to last.
The Cincinnati game.
Game
last.
last.
I know what you're thinking. You
Ravens
might be
could
resting.
resting players.
Yeah, I'm about to say that too.
I know you were gonna say that.
Yeah, you never know. All right, well, let's get in, I guess, to the biggest topic this week, and that is it time for the Cowboys? Before everybody jumps in, I'm gonna give y'all some stats. Is it time for the Cowboys to move on from Jason Garrett? So Jason Garrett is one of the 7 longest tenured coaches in the NFL. Been 10 years for the Cowboys. Out of that list of 7, he is the only coach without a Super Bowl win. The furthest we've gotten in the playoffs is the divisional round. Okay. His regular season record is 83-64, which is 56% win percentage. Playoff record of 2-3, which is 40%. He's had 3 double-digit win seasons. So you might look at his regular season and say, 83-64, that's pretty good. But then when you start to break this down, he's 34-18 in the NFC East. And then he's 44-43 against all other divisions. It is time for the Jason Garrett experiment, and it's been a long experiment, to come to an end.
I don't know if you call 10 years an experiment.
Yeah, it's more like a torture event or something.
Hey, I read this. I won't take credit for this, but I read this. Jason Garrett is like the Jay Cutler of the coaches.
I don't even know if he's that because Cutler had so much potential.
Yeah,
But
He just didn't care.
but he couldn't. But he couldn't win the big games.
Well, Cutler couldn't hardly win it. Cutler, I don't know. He had like he didn't care. Jason cares.
he does. He definitely cares that the players play for him, but it's just too much in game. It's just too many bad mistakes in game. And now I'm gonna go back to the Patriots game, and everybody's saying he should have went for it. It was 4th and 7. Or was it 4th?
Yeah, it was fourth.
It was 4th. Yeah, it was 4th and 7.
I honestly, at first, I was like, "No, you should go for it." But then I understood the field goal, the logic of the field goal. In my mind, I kind of worked that out too. You kick the field goal, they get the ball back. If they go down and score another field goal, you still can tie the game. Maybe it's not the most aggressive approach, but I kind of understand the approach. But it's just not that one decision that defines it.
There was 6 minutes. There was about 6 minutes left in that game.
There was about 6 minutes left in the game, so he played it right because Dallas did get the ball back. It didn't come back to bite us and it didn't come back to bite us that we kicked the field goal. And you say, well, yeah, we did have problem moving the ball throughout the game, but I think they had found the formula to move the ball at the end of the game because we were moving the ball at that point in the game. So the aggressive play would have been to go for it and see what happens. I kind of get why he didn't. I think he approached it more of a first down situation more than he did get a touchdown situation. Had it been 4th and 3, 4th and 2, I bet he would have went for it. I think he would have went for it.
Had he had better play calls before that, it probably could have been 4th and 3 and 4th.
Yeah, that too. But it's too much like this. I think part of it is I think he's hampering Kellen Moore. I think Kellen Moore has this creativity because we saw it at first, and I think that Garrett has kind of reeled that in now. And he may even be making more second guess himself. You know what I mean? So the bottom line is it's just time to go. You can't do 10 years and not have won a Super Bowl. You just can't.
How many playoffs?
5.
5 playoff appearances and 2 and 3 record.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't. You can't keep this up.
I agree. However, I don't. A lot of people are calling him for to be fired right now. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, by default of the division you're in, you're going to make the playoffs. There's no doubt on mine. They're going to win the East. I mean, because Philly obviously is not who we thought they were, and the Giants and Redskins aren't even in consideration. So if you make the playoffs, you at least got a chance. You're already there. You got a chance. I mean, that year the Giants beat the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
They came in as a wild card, I believe. That first year they beat them, they came in as a wild card.
That's true.
And yet the Cowboys are coming in as a division champion. So I think if you fire him now, I think you lose all chance of even winning a playoff game. I mean, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl anyway, but I think at least you got a shot. I mean, you never know how things might turn out. I just think you're punting on a season when you know you're going to make the playoffs. I
don't think you are, and this is what I'm going to tell you why. You almost get 2 things out of this. Okay, like you said, the division is so bad that you're pretty much almost guaranteed to win the division, right? But if you fire Jason Garrett and you promote Chris Richard, okay, you get to see what this guy can do. You're most likely still going to make the playoffs, and you still have that same chance. It basically can't get any worse because you remove Jason Garrett from it. We have an offensive coordinator and a quarterback's coach who's working good with the QB, so that's going to stay in place. Maybe Richard holds people a little more accountable, changes a little bit of what's going on with the defense. You might improve your team as opposed to hurting your team. Plus, you get to try out a guy who everybody's saying is an up-and-coming and could possibly be another head coach.
Who is that? Richard?
Chris Richard, yeah. You get to test him out to see exactly what he does because with the talent on this team, if this guy is truly an up and coming coach, he should be able to make these small improvements, make the decisions that need to be made during the game, and boom, you're winning again.
But I mean, what coaches ever got fired in the middle of a season when they actually made the playoffs? I mean, come on, I just
I can't think of
You
none.
can't.
I can't.
You
But you
can't
know
fire
what?
him when he's leading the division. You just
Yes, you can.
you can't.
I don't see how you could do
In
that.
the division, the offense has never been better under his tutelage. We have never been number one in offense that I can remember as a
What
Cowboys
about that
fan.
13-3 season?
Yeah, we were number one.
We might have been. Yeah, we weren't. You're right. We were number one offense. Not.
But who was the offensive coordinator that year? Was
I don't know.
was it Callahan? Wasn't it
Garrett was there.
Yeah, Garrett was there. But
Garrett was
Garrett, the only year that Garrett's been the head coach and the offensive coordinator was his first year.
Yeah, when what's the name got fired during the season.
Yeah.
That's when the team stopped playing.
I want to say Callahan was
But
the offensive
but here's the
coordinator.
thing. We've lost
Was it
5
Haley?
games. There was really only one game, and that was the Packers game that we weren't in it or had a chance to win it at the end.
That makes it worse, Brian. Because no, seriously, because we lost a lot of those games because of the decisions that the head coach made.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I agree. We went into this season with Jason going without a contract. It was agreed that this was Jason's thing. He had to do what he had to do. We got to get to the championship or further for him to get his to get another contract. So
More like a prove it year. You got to
yeah,
prove
so
it.
I just let him prove it. I'll just let him prove it. I have no
I think-
intentions of right now of letting Jason go.
Hey, I think so too. I don't think you let Jason go right now. You wait till the end of the season.
Now, if he
and see what happens.
if he craps the bed the next couple games, I mean, we start getting blown out and something, then that's a totally different situation. But right now, we're in most of these games. I say let him finish this season out, and then we start fresh next year.
if Dallas loses to Buffalo, Jerry Jones will fire Jason Garrett.
I don't think he will.
You're still making the playoffs. You're still making the playoffs.
Yeah.
I just don't.
That isn't even the most deciding game. The deciding games are the next one, the Chicago game, the Rams game.
I have to
the Eagles
disagree.
game.
I think the Buffalo game was a prove it game
the
too.
deciding game.
I think so too.
I mean, the Bills are 8-3, right?
Yeah,
They're a
yeah.
good team this
When
year.
you think about
Actually,
it,
with the Bills, you know what?
They have a similar record to us. but
Mark,
they
did you
haven't
go
played
back to the
right
you
Yeah,
go back to
yeah.
what you were saying before too? You guys haven't really beat anybody with winning records, really.
No, and
now.
neither have the Bills.
Neither have the Bills.
Exactly.
But,
Exactly.
But the Bills 8-3 looks better than the Cowboys 6-5.
So
It does.
Bills come to Dallas
So, yeah.
on Thanksgiving Day, and they beat Dallas. Jerry Jones is firing Jason Garrett.
Hmm.
I'm telling you,
I think that'd be a mistake.
writing is on the
I don't
wall.
see
you
how
got that
if you
memo?
listen to
They
Jerry,
sent
he's
you
not
they sent you
doing
that?
that
They
too.
sent it to you?
I got inside sources. You know, if you listen to Jerry, all the talk that Jerry's doing is telling you. He even said he wasn't looking at making a change on a short week.
Then you're gonna basically you're punting on your team with a Super Bowl caliber team. This is probably the best team.
He's already
That's the
punted
part
on
that
it.
disappoints.
You've already
Jerry.
punted on it.
Yeah.
You kind of.
But you're going to make the play. You have a chance to win. You still have a chance to take this thing out.
Have that chance, right? Since you have that chance and you've already experienced what this head coach can do, why not make that change and see if something can make it just a. We're let's say Dallas is 95% there. If all you need is 5% from a replacement, and he can give you that, you got to try it because we already know what the 90 is. We've seen it already. We already know where 90 is. We're stuck at 90 or 95. You know what I mean? You got to try it. What is it going to hurt? You're going to know if he bombs and you don't make the playoffs, well, hell, you wasn't going nowhere in the playoffs anyway. So you move on. But if he gives you that 5% that you need, and all of a sudden you start to win right now, because right now is when if a team gets hot right now, they're the dangerous team going into the playoffs.
You can ride it all the way into January.
So
you got a point.
if you have the opportunity to try it, what is there honestly to lose? What is there really honestly to lose at this point? If he loses to Buffalo, Jason Garrett is done.
I mean, you do have a point. I give you that, but that's just unprecedented.
It is, but that's Jerry Jones.
That'd be unprecedented to fire a coach in the middle of a season and you're gonna be in the playoffs.
That's Jerry Jones,
crazy.
though. That's what he does. All right, so those are our hot topics for the week. We're gonna go ahead and get into these picks. We got 3 Thursday night games,
Good Lord.
3 Thursday
Thursday
games, 1 Thursday nighter, two a Sunday night game, Monday night game, and then we're gonna do 1 Sunday game, which is one that. How did that game not get flexed?
I don't know.
Totally
That
shocked
definitely
that game
should
didn't
have.
get flexed.
Maybe because the Ravens were just on Monday night.
They didn't.
And
No,
the night.
don't matter.
Both of them
Have
were
they
just
reached their
on
max?
I don't think
Sunday
it.
night,
I don't think it
Monday
matters. That's
Yeah,
a
it
much
does.
see.
Which game you talking about getting flexed?
The
The
49ers,
49ers
and the
Ravens game.
I don't know how they didn't flex this game.
Oh yeah, that's in the day. That's a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, that's a 1 o'clock game, so I'll definitely be watching that one. All right, so let's start it off with the first Thursday game,
The
which is
snoozer.
Yep, the Lions, the Bears at the Lions. I'll start this one off. I'm going with the Bears.
You got any explanation behind that?
Both teams suck, but the Bears have a better defense, and I think they're better. So that's why I'm going with the Bears. Who you got, Marcus?
I'm gonna go ahead and go with you. I'm gonna go with the Bears. Like you said, but I'm saying both teams suck, and they got a much better defense. The Lions is looking like garbage again this year. And is Stafford back or no?
No.
No,
Oh,
he's not. No.
oh, it's definitely the Bears then. I don't even know why we talking.
Even though Trubisky ain't that much better than
No, but you know Trubisky's hurt. He may
Oh,
not
Chase
even
right.
play.
Oh, well, that'd be better.
Some
That's,
dude
yeah,
named
Chase
David
Daniels.
Blah.
What happened to Chase Daniels?
Oh no. I'm sorry. I'm talking about not Trubisky. Trubisky's
Driscoll.
playing. I'm talking
Oh,
about
Driscoll.
Driscoll.
Driscoll's hurt.
Oh.
Driscoll for the Lions may not play.
Okay.
Some dude named David Blah.
His name is Blah, seriously.
Bloughh. I don't know how you pronounce it,
Bleh.
but he may
Blah.
play.
Blah.
So if he
David
plays, you
Blah.
guarantee the Bears with the number 4 defense is going to win that one. I didn't mean to jump ahead. I'll take the Bears. I may have taken the Lions if Trubisky played. I mean, if Driscoll played, because the Bears have had trouble against running quarterbacks, and Driscoll can run very well, but if he ain't playing, ain't no way.
Mark, who you got?
The Bears. Their defense is doing enough right now. I mean, the Redskins got 6 sacks out of his lines, and Khalil Mack with another sack fumble. I'm taking the Bears all the way on this one.
All right. So the next game we're gonna go over is the Bears. Marcus, you.
I picked
The Bears.
Oh, okay, so we all picked the Bears.
Our fifth Beatle, he's not on, is he? He picking.
No, I don't see him.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're gonna move on. Next game is the Bills at the Cowboys. Marcus, I'll let you start this one off.
I just don't see any scenario where the Cowboys lose this game. It's Thanksgiving. They're at home. Statistically, they're a much better team, the Bills, even though the Bills have a better record than the Cowboys. Like you say, Jason Garrett may be playing for his job. I mean, not playing for, but be coaching for his job. I'm going to take the Cowboys on this.
Mark.
Like I said, I think it's a proven game for both the teams. The Bills have a nice rookie, Devin Singletary. He's been running well. Josh Allen, as long as he can take care of the ball, he's been playing real well last couple of games. I'm gonna take the Bills in this one, y'all.
You gonna be lone wolfing that, Mark? Is that gonna be lone wolf?
Well, we're gonna see.
The reason the Cowboys can lose this game is that the Bills have the number 3 defense and the number 3 pass defense. The Cowboys have the number 1 offense and number 1 pass offense.
Still number 1?
Yeah, still number 1.
Okay, all right.
Dak's still number 1 too. 3,433 yards passing. Vegas likes the Cowboys. The Cowboys are giving up 7 in this game. It's at home. I don't want to have a stomach ache. I'm going with the Cowboys.
Yeah. As much as I just talked about, Jason Garrett will lose his job if he loses to the Bills. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to lose to the Bills, and so we're going to have to deal with Jason Garrett probably for another week or two. I mean, maybe Jerry fires him even if Dallas does win. I don't know.
I doubt that.
But yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys at home. I'm not going to pick against my Cowboys this week because the Bills actually, the combined record of the teams that the Bills have beaten is worse than the combined records of the teams that the Cowboys have beaten. So since the Bills have won more games against sorrier teams, I think the Cowboys are a better team. So I'm going to go with my Cowboys.
Oh, we shall see.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the Thursday night game, and I don't know how good this game is gonna be.
I don't know. The last time they played, the Falcons shocked the world.
Hey, I tell you what,
at the Falcons.
I start off with this one. The Falcons have stunned them the last time they played them. I mean, they came out
Beat the
and put it
brakes
down
off
on
them.
them. On week 10, they beat them up. The Falcons really have little to play for. They really don't have anything to play for, but respect. But if they can beat them twice, that'll put a little notch under their belt for for a divisional game. The Falcons are at the bottom with their defense. They're like 26 in the league, 27 as far as yards given up and played. I can't see the Saints losing the Falcons the second time. I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints on this one too. I just don't see it. The Saints, they just got caught sleeping, But you can throw the record out for a divisional game, but it's not happening again. Marcus.
Yeah, like you guys said, the Falcons, they whipped them last time, but like I said, the Saints are a premier team in this league, definitely one of the premier teams in the NFC. It's not going to happen twice. The Saints are going to beat the Falcons.
And I think so. If they win this game, they can pretty much clinch their
They
division.
win the division. They
Yeah.
win this game.
Brian.
The Saints are going to win this game. They got Michael Thomas, the number one receiver with 1,242 yards. But guess who has the number 2 pass offense between these two teams? The Falcons.
Interesting.
Yeah, they average about 298 yards, almost 300 yards a game. But there's no way. There's no way. The Saints have everything to go for, and they're not going to sleep on this one. The Saints are going to blow the doors off the Falcons. Y'all can have some apple pie and go to sleep and get ready for work if you got to work on Friday.
All right, moving on. We're going to talk about the Sunday night game, the Patriots versus the Texans. Marcus.
It's kind of a hard game to pick, but it is no. Actually, that's Sunday night game? So it's December already. So this is the time that the Patriots shine. I don't think there's any doubt that right now, especially on offense, that the Texans are a much better team. And in order for the Texans to cement their spot in the playoffs, I think they need to win this game, but I don't think they will. I'm not betting against Belichick and the Patriots. I'm going to pick the Patriots.
Mark.
Texans will need all their wide receivers to step up on this one. Because the Patriots' philosophy is they're going to try to stop Hopkins. The Patriots' passing game has been a little bit thrown off a little bit. They don't have their top wide receivers they have. But Sony Michel's been running the ball real good. It's hard for me to pick against the Patriots, so that's why I'm taking the Patriots.
Brian.
Actually, Mark, they're probably not going to double Hopkins. They're going to put Gilmore, Hopkins, and they're going to double Fuller.
That's what I was thinking too.
Because that's what they did against the Cowboys. That Cooper did that goose egg. The Texans should win this game, but the way they played against the Colts, and the Patriots have a much better defense. So I think the Patriots will find a way to get this win. Give me the Pats as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Pats too. I debated picking the Texans, just seeing how the Patriots played last week against Dallas. I just can't do it though. It's gonna be there's not gonna be any weather effects for this game being in Texas. So the Patriots. I think they're getting back Sanu, maybe. I'm not sure, but I don't see the Texans winning this one. All right, so we're gonna move on to the Monday night game and then go back to the big game on Sunday. So the Vikings are playing Seattle at home. Thielen may be coming back from his injury. He actually had a scare earlier this week, so he didn't practice on Wednesday. So he's still iffy, and I don't know. Even if he does play, if he had a scare earlier this week, it makes me wonder if he can even make it through a game this week. So playing in Seattle is always hard. 12th man, weather might play a factor. If weather does play a factor, the Vikings, you got to give them the nod on the ground.
They got the much better run game.
Definitely, but home game, Seattle, Russell Wilson. I'm going with Seattle. Brian.
I agree with you, Herman. I'm going to take the Hawks. Excuse me. Vegas agrees. the Hawks are giving up 3 in this game. Um, Marcus words keep ringing in my head. Not trusting Kirk Cousins in a big spot. Even though he did well against the Cowboys, I just don't see it. If the Seahawks lose this game, it's because Dalvin Cook ran all over them. I'm gonna try the Seahawks.
Mark?
I think this is a preview of a playoff game, basically for these two. Since Kirk Cousins got called out by his teammates, he's been playing real well.
Almost MVP. Well,
Seattle's defense, they have to make it uncomfortable for Cousins to really win this game and stop the running back, except the running game, Dalvin Cook. With Russell Wilson back there, he playing well, and I think he leads the league right now with game-winning drives, as far as 5 of them so far. I'm taking Seattle on this one.
Marcus?
I'm going to take Seattle as well. It's a whole game for them. It's December. It's time to lock it down and start playing. Getting ready for the playoffs. And this is a game that both teams needs to win. But I believe Seattle is the better team. Even though, like you said, Dalvin Cook, he could wind up running all over them. But I'm going to pick the Seahawks. I got more faith in the Seahawks.
so none of y'all are concerned with that Seahawks victory against the Eagles last week. It's kind of ugly.
You're going to have other games.
Yeah. All right, so the big game, Sunday, 1 o'clock game, which I don't know why this is not on Sunday night or flex to Monday or something. You got the 49ers at the Ravens. Who wants to kick this one off? Anybody? Anyone? Mark?
You got 2 of the most physical teams in the NFL playing this week. The 49ers match up real well, I think, against the Ravens. They got the speed of linebackers. I think the key person in this game to help the 49ers out is Jimmy Ward, how well he plays as a nickel back in there. Ravens, I mean, they're downfield running. I mean, it's difficult to stop and defend. I'm not sure if I'm drinking the purple Kool-Aid on this one. I'm going to take the 49ers on this one, y'all.
Marcus?
This is pretty much the if you want to look back at last year, this is to me the Rams Chiefs game of last year. I think this is going to be the premier game of the year. This is a game everybody's been waiting for when these teams started showing the promise. It'll be real interesting to see how the 49ers defense handles the Ravens offense. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and pick the Ravens. Until someone shows me they can stop them, and I do believe anybody can stop them. It'll be San Francisco, but until someone shows me they can stop them, I'm not picking against them. They're on fire right now. Lamar's the league candidate for MVP, and I think they'll pull out another one. It'll be a loss for the 49ers.
So, Marcus, the reason I was laughing is because I always mark down the lone wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And while you were talking, I was writing in mark for the lone wolf on this one. Me and Brian haven't picked yet, but I'm going with the Ravens. I said I wasn't gonna. I'm not doubting on the 49ers, but I'm with you, Marcus, on this one. Until somebody stops the Ravens, I can't pick against them. I just can't. I cannot. This will be like usually I watch Red Zone on Sundays. I'm watching this game. I got to see what this game is going to be all about. And again, I'm disappointed that this game was not flexed into a primetime spot.
It should be. I don't know why they did that slot.
What happened with how the NFL missed out. So I'm going with the Ravens. Brian.
So here's the problem with this 49ers vaunted defense. They're number 19 against the run.
Oh, jeez.
Number 19. Do you know who's the number 9 rusher in the NFL? That would be Jackson. He is not a running back. He is number 9.
What you call it?
Who?
Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram. Go ahead.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. I'm not sure. But this Ravens offense is on a roll. Barring an injury to Jackson, I don't see anybody really slowing them down or stopping them. They score and do what they want. 4th down means nothing to them. 4th down, let's go for it. 4th and 5, we got it. 4th and 6, let's get it. It's crazy. Ravens are actually only giving up 6 in this game, but I don't think this game is really going to be close. I don't think Garoppolo has I need to take that back because Kittle is going to be playing, so that is his blanket. But I just don't see them keeping up in score. I think the Ravens are going to win this game. So you're right. Mark will be lone wolf in this one.
Mark,
Mark may be wearing that hat 2 times next week.
Mark Ingram is the number 12 running back.
Wow.
So you have
So
the
Lamar
number
Jackson
9.
is ahead of their leading running back.
But you want to know what's crazy? A stat I heard today: Josh Allen has more rushing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson.
Does he?
Really?
Yes.
Mhm.
I
can
heard
believe
this
that.
stat earlier today.
I can believe that.
Let me see if I can find that.
You know, I do too, because he does. They get down there, and a lot of times
do a
they'll
lot of
throw.
running.
He doesn't
Yep.
always run them in.
Yep.
That is true. I believe that.
Yeah. Can't find it. But so that's it. That's it for the show. We appreciate you guys joining us on your pre-Thanksgiving night, and hopefully you were watching the show while you were cooking and getting that meal ready. Marcus, you want to take us out?
Sure. I want to encourage everyone to like, share, subscribe, like the channel, share the video, subscribe to the channel, help us get these views up. Like Herman said, hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. Don't go out there and get hurt in some turkey bowls, because we want to see you back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Peace. We out.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Say what? What'd you say?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, listen. All right.